too. I think you'll probably find these a bit sharp over 1800 at weight for age.
Lovely, handsome horse. He's got beautiful skin on him coming down from Queensland. Lovely, muscular type. He seems quite fresh and well within himself.
10 is Duke de Sessa, who tried to do it from the front, carrying 61 kilos here in the race, won by Young Verda. Declan Bates's engagement is an interesting one. Do they try and pull something out of the Pride of Jenny hat?
I think it makes sense. He's a fit horse. Why not go forward? Led at a fast speed. Just couldn't shake Young Verda last time out, but beat the rest. He rises in class, and it's nearly 2 years since his last win, but he's hard fit and he can race on speed.
His coat is all but there. He's 95% of the way there, almost ready to peak, this fellow. He's got a really nice amount of fitness on board. You can see great tone. He's conserving his energy perfectly. It's pretty straightforward. 11
is Place du Carousel, having its first Victorian run for Anthony and Sam Friedman. Brought Group 1 form lines and a 7-figure price tag out of the Northern Hemisphere. 2 runs in Australia. Second to Via Sistina in the Ranvet, and then make of the Queen Elizabeth run what you will.
Look, I've liked her work in both the Cranbourne Trail and the 1200-metre Mornington jump out. She can probably sit midfield from an ideal barrier for Mark Zara. Look, no surprise to see her win this first up. She looks a leading contender. How is she in the yard, Amy?
She's beautiful. You can see why she had such an expensive price tag. She's got a bit of quality about her. I think that she's well and truly forward enough for this. She's got good tone. Her skin's absolutely beautiful. She looks ready to rock and roll.
No prizes for guessing where we're likely to see the 12 Deny Knowledge in run. Last start winner of the Grafton Cup.
Looks the likely leader in the race, but what they have been allowing this mare to do is to find her feet early and not really rev her from the start. She wasn't far off Place du Carousel in a recent jump out at Mornington. If she's able to get control of a moderate speed and she's left alone, she could give a big sight.
She's fresh and bouncing, this girl. I think it's a really nice return. I don't feel like she's completely screwed down, but the longer she's been in here and as the jockey's got on board, she's got a little bit excited. She actually looks a lot tighter than what she did when she was relaxed out the back.
Much to like about the return of the 13 Coco Sun in the race won by Another Will on Memsey Day. She, of course, has an SA Derby on her CV.
She's a quality 3-year-old. She was a quality 3-year-old filly last season, and she put down a decent mark for her first run as a 4-year-old mare at an unsuitable trip. You'd imagine the rise in distance here is ideal. Weight for age at 1,800 metres. She may be better suited in a handicap, but this will give Connections a great line as to where she's at.
I've got so much time for this mare. She's absolutely glorious. She's so straightforward on race day, beautifully relaxed. She shows a lot of maturity for a horse as lightly raced as what she is. It's another great parade. I think she's tightened up nicely from her first up run.
Winners in the 21st century, the Underwood is a who's who of racing in our country. Russian Camelot, So You Think, Weekend Hustler, Elvstrom, Mummify and Northerly on 2 occasions. The race that on 55 occasions has produced either the Cox Plate or Caulfield Cup winner, the 101st edition of the Henley Holmes Underwood Stakes. Amy Yagi, the yard would have been a feast for the eyes.
Certainly was, Nige. What a beautiful group of horses here. It's a pleasure to have my eye gaze over all of them. I'm with Place du Carousel here. I thought that she looked sensational in the yard. Couldn't have really looked any better. I think that she's pretty forward in condition for this. Her coat was absolutely beautiful. She looks ready to rock and roll. But Coco Sun, she got better today than what she was even first up. Bois d'Argent looked sensational as well. You'd expect it in a race like this. Pericles, I think he has taken nice natural improvement as well. But I'm with Place du Carousel.
Yeah, and she's clear-cut favourite and the best back late here on race day now, Amy. Your pick of the yard and punter's favourite too. So Place du Carousel, first up, Mark Zara, absolutely looks a treat and heavily back to win the Underwood, the Group 1 Underwood. Pericles out to $4.60 now. $8 to $6.50's been rock solid on race day, Faulkner Park. Coco Sun was a blowout horse into $9 from the $19, and Bois d'Argent also 41 to 18 is here to run seriously. Okay, let's get your bets on for the Group 1. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the 1-800 number or visit the website.
Cal, you're a gorgeous girl, Coco Sun. I thought she looked fantastic today and she's taken really nice natural improvement from that first up run.
Yeah, for sure, Amy. We're really pleased with where she's at. She's come on a lot. Obviously, we're second up at the 1800 today, and I'm pleased about the track. There's some decent give in it today. Obviously, first up was quite firm, and she still ran super. So we're really excited about her prep. Obviously, this is another prep run. We've got loftier ambitions, but I think she's in it with a decent chance.
What would you like Jamie to do on her today?
Yeah, look, we just left it up to Jamie. She knows her, obviously won the Derby on her. Just get her out the gates. We don't want her to get too far back. We'd prefer she holds a bit more of a forward position, and other than that, leave it up to Jamie.
I'll let you go get a good spot. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Sam Friedman's with us, Plastic Carousel, setting foot on Victorian turf for the first time. Sam, appreciate your time. We know this was Without a Fight's starting point of his amazing spring of 2024. Has that been a bit of a guidebook for where to kick her off?
Yeah, it certainly was. Obviously, he ran a really nice fifth, I think, in this race and hit the line well. So, as soon as she sort of finished her campaign in Sydney, we thought the Caulfield Cup was a nice target, and this was certainly the right kick-off for her.
What's the likely plan for Mark in the early stages, given how things shape?
Left it up to him largely. He's a good jockey. He's ridden these horses plenty of times in these sort of races. He's got a nice gait. If she begins well, she'll be handy enough. If she's tardy out, she won't be handy. She's got targets ahead, but she's forward enough to certainly put up a good run.
Do you feel like you've got some sort of hand based on the work with her as to what her preferred pattern's going to be? Because for most of us, we don't really feel like we've got much of a guide, given it was a slowly run Ranvet, and then the Queen Elizabeth is self-explanatory.
Yeah, she's had two sort of polar opposite race shapes. One suited to an extent, and the other certainly didn't. So, look, she's raced handy, I think, in the past over in France. But, look, we've trialled her up on the pace at her first trial this prep, and we rode her out the back in her most recent trial. She's trialled well both times. So, Mark's been on board. As I said, he's a good jockey. We'll leave it up to him. What of Deny Knowledge, who's got a little bit of fitness under the belt, I'd imagine, after being to Grafton? Not sure the Grafton Cup Underwood Stakes is a common double, but she earns her chance here. She's got very good form. She arrived to us in great condition from Mick Kent, and we've just done a fair bit of work just getting her to switch off and relax. Seemingly, she's doing that at the moment. She was in a bit of a mood pre-race, and she kicked the clerk of the course, so apologies for that. But look, she'll roll along. It may not be initially, she can be a little tardy out, but I would suggest at some point in the race, the intention is to put some tempo in. She seems to go best when she's rolling along at a nice clip, so we don't want to take that away from her. Good luck with both of the mares. Cheers, thanks.
Yeah, we're just behind the barriers here now with Plastic Carousel, who's just lost a front shoe, unfortunately, so we're just getting that tack back on by the farrier now. He'll get to that very shortly. Otherwise, she's holding it together nicely. You always want to make sure that they're nice and relaxed when you have a little hold up like this, and she's certainly been very placid whilst this is happening, so hopefully the shoe can get put on nice and quickly. Of all the others, I'm just having a good look at Pericles. When I turn back around, he came around here beautifully. That is really an outstanding looking specimen of a horse, and he's very relaxed. He's got the red earmuffs on, but he's really in the zone. Just stood there perfectly quietly with Blake on board, and the old boy Vow and Declare. Geez, he always catches my eye, this horse. He's improved every time, obviously getting fitter and fitter, and he just looks a picture today. So I expect him to run a bold race. And of the others, Faulkner Park's looking really good. I think the team have got that horse looking very forward. So it'll be interesting to see who goes out on top today.
So we're now seeing the favourite being reshod. Amy Argue, might bring you in as you put your trainer's hat on here. What would you be feeling if you had a favourite in a Group 1 and the farrier's now having to go to work?
Well, I think you'll probably find Sam Friedman going to have a quiet little spew somewhere. It's just not what you want, is it? It's she's standing there perfectly quiet, so now I say that, then she sort of gets a little bit restless, but you just cross your fingers and hope that she can stand there and tolerate it. She's a well-travelled mare. She seems to have quite a good brain on her, but it's far from ideal, is it? It's, I don't know what the statistics are or whether it would affect performance or not. If the shoe goes on without a hitch, well, then in theory it shouldn't really be an issue, but it's never what you want to see, BZ.
Charlotte, how is the mare handling it?
Yeah, as Amy said, it's not ideal, is it? But look, it does happen, and as long as they're nice and quiet, there's a really good team around her. The boys being lovely with her, giving her a nice scratch on the forehead. We've got the clerk of the course stood there patiently with her, and as Amy said, she's well travelled. She's been here, there, and everywhere. So she's pretty used to the buzz of what's going on, and she's handling this really well as you'd want to see a horse handle a situation that's just a delay before we jump. So I don't think punters need to be too wary at this stage. She's handling it beautifully.
What's happening market-wise late here, gents?
Well, we're seeing a slight drift in the market with Plastic Carousel, just to $3.70. Pericles has been very soft bound, now to $4.60.
When markets first went up, he was a $3. I think it was even $2.80 bet after the scratching of Kovalika. So he's been very easy right throughout betting since Thursday, but it's getting to the stage now where I think he's the one that represents the value in the race, because he's the one that's hard fit, third up, and can race on speed. So becoming an attractive proposition. Speed-wise, this is a race where Deny Knowledge looks your leader, but what the Friedman team have been doing is letting her take her time to get there. So kicking up inside her, I think you're probably going to have Bois d'Argent. You're probably going to have, off what we saw last time out, Duke de Sessa, who's been backed at a price as well. So might be a little bit more pace than what we first thought. And of the leading chances, I do think Pericles will roll forward and have a look early. If an opportunity to slot in, maybe 1-1 presents itself, I'm sure Blake Shen will take it, but he can be right there on pace.
Looks like we're about to get underway now for the delayed start to the Henley Holmes Group 1 Underwood Stakes. Let's head to Matt Hill for his thoughts.
Moving into the stalls, Coco Sun goes up with also Faulkner Park. They go into the gates. Moving in. Next one along is Duke de Sessa. Duke de Sessa with Declan Bates. Knight's Choice about to load, ridden by Craig Williams, who won the race aboard Zaki when it was staged at Sandown in 2021. Here's Deny Knowledge loading forward. Black distinguishing cap worn by Jai McNeil, as Knight's Choice precedes that runner. Bois d'Argent is the next one forward. Ben Mallon won the race 6 years ago on Homesman. Buckaroo, recent winner of the Chelmsford, is in. Plastic Carousel after that farrier work on its toes. Mark Zara just trying to keep the favourites relaxed. A little bit fizzed up there, and then a little bit of a rare. Attendant staying away from the Hines, which is a good move. Mark Zara stays on for the moment. Now he dismounts again. Vow and Declare and also Whittor are going to be a couple of the others to move into the stalls. So we're creeping closer to starting time, as now Plastic Carousel is going to be called up rideless. Mark Zara with urgency goes over to the barriers. Will meet his charge in the gates as Plastic Carousel is steadily walked forward and goes in. Whittor is the next one into the gates with Mickey D. Whittor goes up and Vow and Declare to join them. Had some magnificent renewals over the years of the Underwood Stakes. This is the 101st running of it. Vow and Declare is in, and the field is set at the 1800. Set to go, Group 1 action, and they're away. Pretty good line too. Whittor's going back to the end of the field with Buckaroo. Plastic Carousel jumped well, with also Bois d'Argent. Munamek holding its position the inside early. Duke de Sessa, Vow and Declare from the deep, and Pericles forcing up too. They were followed by Deny Knowledge, who's about 7th at this stage outside of Knight's Choice. A length and a half away, Faulkner Park, Coco Sun, Buckaroo and Whittor as they climb up towards the 1250, where it's Duke de Sessa the leader clearly by a length and 3/4. Pericles is second, a length to Munamek, Bois d'Argent. Vow and Declare is 5th deeper, followed by Knight's Choice. Next in between horses, Plastic Carousel and Deny Knowledge around it, followed by Faulkner Park as they run off the back section. Next is Buckaroo, Coco Sun, and 2 lengths away to Whittor. Duke de Sessa is the leader to the side of the course, 1,000 metres to go, and the speed's been okay by about a length and a half to Pericles and Munamek. There's Deny Knowledge forcing up 4 deep. Vow and Declare is 3 deep at the 800 metres. 3/4 of a length, Bois d'Argent, who currently sits in 6th place. A length, Buckaroo, and then came along the inside Knight's Choice, and Williams getting animated. Further back is Plastic Carousel, who just loses its pitch slightly from Coco Sun, Faulkner Park and Whittor. Duke de Sessa the leader, approaching the corner at the 450. 3/4 of a length in front of Pericles, trying to hunt it down. 2 lengths to Bois d'Argent. Buckaroo, the widest, is starting to really wind up, and behind those is Knight's Choice. Plastic Carousel is starting to run on in between horses, but Pericles went to the front. 250 out, grabbed by Buckaroo. Buckaroo takes the lead, draws 2 lengths in front of Pericles. Whittor from the back. It's all Buckaroo. Buckaroo storms away. A one-act affair. Buckaroo won it well. Whittor second, Pericles third, Photo fourth. Duke de Sessa, Deny Knowledge, then Plastic Carousel. Coco Sun, Vow and Declare, Knight's Choice, a gap, Bois d'Argent and Munamek at the tail of the field.
Buckaroo makes a one-act affair of the 2024 Henley Holmes Underwood. And Joe Moreira, the globe-trotting superstar, has got his 4th Victorian Group 1 and his 3rd in concert with Chris Waller. Of course, he was the go-to man for Brazen Bow in winning a Coolmore and a Newmarket in 14 and 15, and almost a decade later they reunite with the Chelmsford winner, who has looked sensational. What a difference gelding's made to this horse. So in behind, Huetor, an enormous run at a gigantic price into second. Pericles had every possible opportunity. He gets yet another Group 1 placing in third, and Duke de Sessa, who set the tempo, hangs on for fourth. There's perhaps a bit to be picked out from those in behind, given the circumstances of the lead into the race for Plastic Carousel, but there's some runs in behind from perhaps her and Coco Sun ahead of a Caulfield Cup. 1:49 flat looks to be the time in this year's edition of the Underwood, so they're about 1.4 seconds outside the race record set by Oliver Twist. Joe Moreira, a fourth Group 1 in Victoria. He gets it done again with Chris Waller. He takes out the Underwood on Buckaroo. He's alongside Charlotte Littlefield.
Joe Moreira, you come here and you win another one. You win a Group 1 here in Victoria, and that looked pretty impressive. How did it feel to you?
It feels amazing, you know. That's what horse racing is about. When you get one up, the feeling doesn't get any better.
Yeah, well, we love seeing you ride here. You're incredible to watch. Now, you've got a good association with Chris Waller, and this horse was just primed to perfection for today.
Impressive the way how he won, isn't it? Yeah. He has a tricky manner in the gate. He wasn't really kind for me in there. Began a little bit worse than what we were hoping. Found it itself a little bit too far back, but as the race disenrolled itself, it kind of got him into the race. When I turned for home on the outside, with him with a great momentum, I was always confident he was going to get up. Nice horse makes jockey's life so much easier, isn't it?
Yeah, but it does depend on who's on them as well to get them into that position. But obviously very strong through the line. Fitness there, going up in distance now?
Oh, he's bagging for more ground, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins another one.
Let's hope you're aboard. Are we going to see much more of you over spring?
I think so.
Good, thank you. Well done.
Yeah.
Just got the lucky strapper here, Del. Congratulations. How does that feel?
Oh, it's feeling great. It's nice, always nice and quiet. It's relaxed, and I try to do my best to make him cool, relaxed in there. And then he done his best today. And Magic Man, yeah, he done his job. Yeah, we finally got it 2 seconds earlier, but now finally got a winner. Yeah.
How long have you been with the Chris Waller team?
Chris Waller, yeah, 16 years, a long time.
Wow, that must be such an amazing association. Have you looked after any other good horses?
Yeah, it's 2010 Rangi Rangdu, and then a couple of more Group 1s after that, couple of other ones. I look after Finch in the Melbourne Cup one time, then Himido, so many Riff Rockets, then yeah.
These Group 1s, they just mean that extra bit more, don't they?
Yeah, it's a great feeling, yeah, and then it's good for the team, yeah. Team Waller, we just done great, yeah. Maybe boss happy there.
Maybe the boss can give you a little sling. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Charlie Duckworth joins us, 163rd Group 1 winner for Chris Waller, and it's been a spectacular period for the team this afternoon. Fangirl dominant in the Seven Sports Stakes in Sydney, and now Buckaroo putting his hand up for greater glory throughout the Melbourne Spring. Charlie, congratulations. What are the immediate reactions to the performance?
Yeah, obviously, we're completely blown away, to be honest. We obviously wanted to be a bit more positive than what we were out of the gates, but he was a fraction slow away, so Joe just had to do what Joe does best and take it into his own hands. He had to circle and get going early, but he was strong late, and yeah, he was obviously far too good today.
Apart from what we've just seen, how do you go quantifying the change in his demeanour and physicality via the gelding?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I was saying, we were talking about him earlier in the week, and just said as a colt he was actually too laid back, and now as a gelding he's actually got a bit of spring in his step, and he's a bit more vibrant. So I had a good chat to Tommy Berry this morning, who sort of gave us a few pointers as to how or the reason why he felt he went so well last start, which I obviously then relayed to Joe. And look, Aussie Care, he's a massive supporter of the game and a massive supporter of Chris. So it's pretty special to win a Group 1 for him. And look, I think he might have had a couple of refreshments last night, which doesn't see him here today. But no doubt he'll be having a couple more now.
Good transparency. So no race day commitments, but he's got 54.5 in a Caulfield Cup, He's in a Cox Plate. He's in everything he needs to be. Does what we've just seen perhaps change the composition of his spring, given the manner of the win?
Yeah, I guess it does. I was actually talking to Ozzy yesterday. I said, is he a 2,400 metre horse, or is he a 3,200 metre horse, or is he a Cox Plate horse? Because obviously Joe's here for the Melbourne Cup and can only ride sort of 54 or 53 at a push. So trying to work out where he will ride on those big days. But he might have answered his own question. Time will tell, I suppose, see how he comes through it, and Chris can make the big calls. But look, I'm more than happy to be a small part in the team.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Forward, 1,400 metres, race 7 of the day. Good crowd here at Morphettville this afternoon with the Melbourne Cup in town.